science class interview number 1. So the topic of this interview is the seasons of the Earth. So the first question is, what do you think causes the seasons of the Earth?
The rotation of the Earth in relationship to the Sun.
Okay. So do you think, or why do you think winter is colder than summer?
Because we're farther away from the Sun at a different time of the year, and because we're in the northern hemisphere.
So what do you think, why do you think it matters to be in the northern or southern hemisphere?
Well, it doesn't really matter because you have cold way north and cold way south on each hemisphere of the Earth. So we have winter on the north side of it at different times of the year, and then at the same time there is summer going on in the southern hemispheres, and then it's backwards. When it's summer here, it's winter there.
Mm-hmm. So would you say that the seasons are controlled by the distance between the Earth and the Sun? Why or why not?
I would say that it is controlled by the distance, but it's controlled by the rotation of the Earth too, I believe.
Yeah. So does the tilt of the Earth affect the Sun, or the seasons of the Earth?
I believe they do.
The tilt does?
Yes.
So, like, why or how do you think it affects the seasons?
I think it does have everything to do with the distance, because the tilt puts us either closer or farther away to the Sun while we're in orbit around it.
Right. So what about the Earth's rotation? How do you think that affects the seasons of the Earth?
I think it's the same thing, because as we rotate on the axis of the Earth, we're either closer or further from the Sun, and then we're closer or further from the Sun at the same time because we're orbiting it.
Okay. And you've kind of mentioned the Earth's revolution. So does that also affect the seasons? Like, so as the Earth is revolving around the Sun, how does that affect the seasons?
I think as the Earth is revolving around the Sun, certain parts of the Earth are getting more sunlight during the day, and if we're closer, then it would be summer because it's warmer. If we're further, certain places will be darker, longer, and colder.
Okay. What about, like, so there are 4 seasons, right? Summer, winter, spring, and fall, or autumn. But where do you think the Sun is, or the Earth is in relation to the Sun during the fall season? So we've been talking about summer and winter mainly. Like, what about fall and spring?
I would think we'd be in between. So if we're at the farthest point in winter for certain areas and the closest point in summer for certain areas, spring and fall must be falling somewhere in between those two. So a middle distance and a middle amount of sunlight.
Okay. Well, that completes the interview. Thanks for participating.